guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jade. For those of you who are new here, hi, hello, welcome, it's good to see you. And for those of you who aren't, welcome back. I've missed your faces. I can't actually technically see your faces, but you know what I mean. I've missed your presence. Your presence is felt. I'm so excited for today's video. You guys have been asking for a video on this topic for a while now, and I'm finally delivering. In today's video, I'll be sharing my best tips for creating engaging ads on Facebook. So this video is going to be helpful for anyone, regardless of where you are in your Facebook ad journey. So whether you've run loads of ads in the past or whether you've never run an ad before, do not fret. This video is going to be super useful for you. You know I hate the long introduction, so I want to get straight to it. Okay, so getting started with Facebook ads. Facebook ads are a really great way for you to reach your desired audience. So if you run a business or you're a creator and you are trying to reach a specific audience, which I hope you are, because understanding the audience that you're speaking to is imperative when it comes to growing a following, right? So if you know the audience that you are trying to reach, Facebook ads will allow you to reach that audience with ease, okay? The main thing to bear in mind when it comes to running Facebook ads is that you want to ensure the creative is really, really strong. So if you watch any of my content in the past, you'll know that I always talk about the importance of having a strong strategy and ensuring that all of the content that you're creating for your audience is really, really designed for them and it's really impactful. That is still the case when it comes to your Facebook ads. You need to ensure that the content that you're producing, also known as your creative, is really strong and really optimized for your audience. So I'm going to give you some top tips for that. But before we do that, I'm going to show you an example of an ad that I have previously run using Facebook ads. Okay, how are we feeling? I hope we're feeling good. We're moving on to the final section, and this is a very exciting session because this is where we talk about the moolah. Multiple income streams are achievable for all content creators. This graph is going to show you how I scaled to 15K months in under 1 year. So is the year of the content creator. So what this means for you is that there are so many new funding options available and so many new opportunities for you to monetize your audience. There are creator funds, there are old school things like AdSense, there are new things like Instagram subscriptions. Like, these are all major changes, and if you want to be a content creator, this is the best time for you to do so. So that was an ad which my very talented video editor created for me, and I used it to promote my free masterclasses which I used to run, right? So that's an example of an ad which actually converted super, super well for me. Fun fact though, I actually used to run ads for non-commercial purposes. So there are multiple reasons why you can run ads on Facebook. So I used to run an ad which encouraged my audience to send me any questions they had regarding influencing or content creation, and I would use all those interactions to basically create digital products to solve their biggest questions. So that's how I created my ebook, that's how I created my membership club, the Creators Club, that's how I created my one-to-one coaching programs. I basically used it for market research. So in case you're wondering how you want to use Facebook ads, or if you always need to use it to promote a masterclass or a product or a service, you don't. The main reason for using Facebook ads is to reach a specific audience. So if you've got a reason to do that, which I feel like a lot of us will, then Facebook ads can definitely help you. So if you aren't very experienced with creating Facebook ads, there's a really simple way for you to get started. You just want to head to your Facebook business page, which is the page that I'm currently on, and you want to click this button up there what says promote. If you're super experienced with creating ads, there are some really cool automation tools within Facebook Ads Manager, which will make it even easier for you to optimize your ad campaigns. Okay, so let's dive into some of my top tips when it comes to creating ads for Facebook. Tip number 1 is to ensure that the creative, so that's the content that you're producing for your ad, is optimized for a mobile audience. Now, this is one of the most important things for people to be aware of. A lot of the people who are going to view your ad will be viewing it on their phones. We're all glued to our phones nowadays. Even when we're watching TV, we're on our phones. Guilty. I'm the worst for that. I'm like the ultimate multi-screen person. I'll be on like my laptop, my iPad, my phone whilst watching Love Island. So the point is that when I see an ad, there's a very big chance that I'm going to see that ad on my phone. So if you've produced a creative for your ad, which is not optimized for mobile viewing, there's a big chance that when your audience views that ad, they're not going to get the full experience that you want them to get. And also it's not going to have the impact you want it to have either. The main thing to bear in mind when it comes to this tip is to just pay attention to the formatting that you're creating, right? You want to make sure that the viewing experience is amazing for people viewing it on a mobile. And there are different functions within Facebook Ad Manager, which will allow you to check for that. So for example, I'm inside my ads manager right now, and you can actually see that on the side of the screen, there's an ad preview area. So there you can see what my ad would look like on Instagram. And at the time I was primarily running this ad on Instagram, right? So you can see here that that video that I created is well optimized for mobile viewing because it's vertical and it takes up a good proportion of the screen. So I will use that preview window just to make sure that the ad that I've created will look good when it's being viewed on a mobile. My next tip is to pay attention to your messaging. So this is super important when it comes to any marketing, but especially when it comes to your Facebook advertising, because essentially what you're using Facebook ads for is to ensure that you're reaching your target audience. So if you've not created some messaging which will land with that audience, there's a big chance that you're going to miss out on the opportunity to really engage them properly. So you want to focus on having one clear message that you are trying to get across to your audience. And this message should align with the objective of your marketing, okay? So I know I just dropped a bunch of marketing lingo there, so let me break this down a little bit more. The ad that I showed you previously, the objective for that ad was for me to get more people to sign up to my masterclass. That was why I was running that ad, right? So that was my marketing objective for that advert. Therefore, the messaging that ran throughout that advert was all designed to encourage people to sign up to my masterclass, right? My messaging was around the fact that now is the time to become a content creator and my masterclass will help you get there. That was the singular message that I had running throughout that entire ad. So you want to define what your message is and make sure that it is linked to the objective of your advert. So if you're trying to get more people to buy from you, you need to make sure that your message is related to that. If you're trying to get more people to direct message you, you need to make sure that your message is related to that. Okay, tip number 3. By the way, guys, I'm super hot, so if you start to see me getting a bit misty, bit glowy, it's the heat. It is supposed to get to 39 degrees in London today, which in context, for my Fahrenheit people, I looked it up before this video, it's 102 Fahrenheit, I think. It's over 100. No aircon, windows are closed, can't put my fan on because I'm filming. So it's very hot. Anyway, my third tip is that not all of your creatives for your adverts need to be new. So this is a really great tip. And I'm guessing that this is a tip that's actually going to make a lot of people quite relieved. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You can actually create new ads by repurposing your existing content. And there's a few ways that you can do that. So the first way is by quite literally just boosting the content which already exists on your Instagram page. I'll put an example here so you can see the little blue boost button. Please bear in mind that you would need to have a professional Instagram account in order for you to actually see that option. My preferred way though is to head into the Facebook Ads Manager and to use some of their tools to repurpose content there. So for example, I am now in my Facebook Ads Manager, right? And I'm going to click on Create. So I'm creating a brand new campaign, and the first thing Facebook Ads is going to ask me to do is to select an objective. So remember we spoke about what different objectives you could have earlier. I'm going to click awareness. So this would just mean that I'm trying to get people to be aware of my brand and what I'm promoting. So I'm going to click awareness. I'm going to click continue. And then it's going to open up this page where I can select more specific elements of my ad. So I can give a name to my campaign. I can do A/B testing, which is a bit more advanced. It just allows you to test different ad sets, different audience types. When I click on this section here, it will allow me to make changes to my ad set. So this is things like the budget, and this is things like the audience. So for example, what location are they in? What kind of things are they interested in? Stuff like that. And it will allow you to select where your ad is going to be shown. So a lot of the time you can do automatic placements, which is the recommended option. This just means that Facebook is going to decide for you where your ad should be shown, whether it's on the Facebook home feed or whether it's on the Instagram Explore page. Or you can select where you want your content to be shown specifically by clicking on the manual placements option. I'm going to go with automatic placements, and I want to go one section further down to this section here, which is called your ad. So this is where the actual creative for your ad will sit, okay? So that's how your Facebook ad is organized. There's the campaign, there's the ad set, and then on the bottom there is the actual ad. So I'm going to select an Instagram account for my ad to be shown on, which is my Jade Beason account. And what I want to focus on here, because there's loads of stuff I can show you, is specifically how you create video ads using the tools in Facebook Ad Manager. So you scroll down to where it says Add Creative and you click on Create Video. this is going to open up this page, and on the left hand side you're going to see any content that you've previously used, right? So these are all images and creatives that I've previously used for adverts. If you need any more creatives or you want to use some new ones, you just click the upload button and they'll appear here, right? So what I want to direct you to is the right hand side, which is going to give you a couple of different templates. So there's flexible templates, square templates like this, or vertical templates, which as you can imagine are best for mobile adverts. And then what you want to do is select a bunch of different creatives from the left hand side up to 15, and it's going to create a slideshow for you. So I'm going to select a few. This is one of my previous ads that I used to use. I'm going to go square because that's what the creative was kind of produced for at the time. And then I'm going to pick a specific template. There's a swipe template, there's slideshow, and there's a bunch of other ones down here as well, but I'm going to go with swipe. And then it's going to open up this editing pane where you could change a bunch of different settings. For example, how many seconds each slide remains on the screen, what the transitions are like, whether there's no transition or fade, and you can really just play around with it until you get to a point where you're happy. So I'm actually going to increase the amount of seconds per scene just so that people have enough time to read it. So you can see on the right what my ad would look like, which I actually really like. I think it looks really cool. It's always really great creating adverts which have some kind of movement because it really captures your audience's attention when they're scrolling. You can make something really simple like text-based creatives actually look really eye-catching and interesting when you turn it into a video using the editing tools available in Facebook Ad Manager. You can also shorten existing videos and break them up into little pieces and use those as your creatives for your adverts as well. So the possibilities are endless. Okay, so let's talk about using automation to get the most out of your ads. So I'm on my Facebook business page. I'm then going to click getting started with automated ads, and Facebook is going to ask me to answer a bunch of questions, right? So first of all, it's selecting my ad account, and then it asks me a bunch of different questions about my business. So I'm just going to breeze through these. You'll notice that a lot of them have already been selected because I've done this in advance. I'm putting in UK just for the purpose of this example. My audience is actually pretty global, which I'm very proud of. So this section here is interesting because this is where you need to add in specific interests that your audience might have. So these are some preloaded ones which aren't relevant to my business, but I'm going to leave them in there for the purpose of this example. So once you've answered those questions, you're going to be directed to this page, which is where you can actually create your ad version. So I'm going to click on the add button and I'm going to click one of these ads already, right? So I'm going to add some creatives that I've already preloaded. These are preloaded images. So I'm going to click on some of these previous ads that I have created. It will also let you do things like select ads from your Instagram account. So if I click on Instagram here, it's going to show me a bunch of different posts that I've shared recently. For example, this one, which is the one where I promoted my podcast, and it's going to allow me to select that as an advert as well. It will even include your story content. So some of the content you're seeing up here, that is from a story that I uploaded yesterday. So that's really cool. So I'm going to click add, and now I've got a variety of different adverts that I could pick from. I'm going to click one more to make it 6. I'm going to click this one, and then I'm going to press next. So now what's happening is that Facebook is trying to find my audience and figure out how many people my ad might reach. So this is how many people my ad might reach. Also how many clicks my ad might get, which is really cool because it allows you to have a good idea of the results you could expect from your advert. And then it's also going to give you a daily budget summary as well. So you can change that by clicking on this button here. At the moment, it's just set to a preloaded amount of £2.48 per day, but I could completely change that should I want to. Also down here, it gives you that option to select where you want your ad to actually run. Once you click promote now, it's going to submit your ad for approval. So all of your ads do need to get approved by Facebook first, just to make sure they're not in breach of any guidelines. And then it will say your ad's been created and it's currently being reviewed, right? So you can click on the go to ad center and it's going to open up this lovely page which will show you where all of your adverts are stored. And that is how you create an automated ad. I also want to tell you about a few additional cool features. For example, there is Advantage plus Creative, which is this toggle here. This allows you to automatically adjust your creative for each person viewing your ad and improve the ad performance. You can also do this cool feature called Shuffle Creative, which allows you to test different headlines, call to actions, and assets. Okay, so my final tip is to do with ad placements. You'll recall that previously in the video, I mentioned that when you're creating ads, you can actually specify where you want your ads to appear. So whether you want them to appear appear on your Facebook home screen, or whether you want them to appear inside people's Messenger inbox, or maybe it's on the Explore page on Instagram, you can actually define exactly where you want your ads to appear. But not only that, you can actually use placement asset customization to ensure that your ad creatives look great wherever they're being shown. So here you can see another ad that I've created for the purpose of this video. Is actually one to promote my podcast, which I might actually run. I haven't actually promoted my podcast heavily yet. So here you can see the creative that I'm using to promote it, right? And what you can actually do is open up the advanced preview window, and it's going to show you what that creative is going to look like in a variety of different places. So on Facebook feed, on the Instagram feed, on Facebook Marketplace, etc. And if you hit the more settings option, it's actually going to give you the opportunity to change the templates as well. And you can actually click on the see variations button to see different ways that your ad might actually appear. So this section just allows you to ensure that your creative is looking great wherever it's being seen. So that's it. Those are my top tips for creating Facebook ads. So now that you know how to create the best ads either through Facebook Ad Manager or by creating an ad through your Facebook business page, I encourage you to check out the resources in my description so you can learn a few more tips and tricks and really perfect your Facebook advertising. I also recommend checking out some of these creative features in your next Facebook ad to see what works best for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you feel like hanging around, I recommend watching this video. It's all about my top tips for advertising and marketing your business on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video.